Good day, Rita here again from Gringo to Tico, and we're going to talk about the actual process of purchasing your property. And once again, that can be daunting when you're new to the country. There's a second language to deal with, different processes, different laws. This is where your realtor is your key person. Make sure you have a really good realtor who hears you, who understands what you want, but also can really guide you and has had experience guiding people through that purchasing process. The other thing that's very important is to have a really good lawyer, somebody who is specialized in real estate, and possibly to help you out later in residencia and getting your residency for Costa Rica, because they so often can go hand in hand for a lot of people. That real estate agency and that lawyer need to have an escrow account for your money to go into to keep you and the seller of that property safe. Make sure that that's intact as you're dealing with and picking out your realtors. What happens is you go around and you find the property that you like or one you want to put an offer on, and you're going to put in an offer to purchase, and you'll do the usual thing, the back and forth. Most houses, 90% of houses, come completely furnished with dishes and everything. So, that's taken into account in the price of your house. Understand that your house is going to cost a little bit more because you're paying for all those appliances, all that furniture, all those dishes, cutlery, spoons, pots, pans. Everything is included in the price of most houses. So understand that as you're making your purchase. And then once the offer is accepted, then there will be a sales purchase agreement. And that's where all the nitty-gritties and the details get put into. And both parties have to agree to that and sign that document. That document now becomes, the law dealing with the sale of your property. Once that's been signed by both the buyer and the seller, then it goes to your lawyer, who will then do the due diligence. Make sure the title's in place, make sure the corporation's clean, or recommend to you to purchase a new corporation, and they will educate you about the cost of that. Most houses, a lot of lawyers will recommend a new corporation. When you do that, you've got to transfer that into a new corporation. There's a corporate transfer tax, and it's expensive, like 1% of the cost of the property or something like that. I can't remember right now, but it's expensive. Ask your realtor about it when you're doing it, so if there's any possibility of keeping the original corporation and it's safe to do that, because you will save money. So, and as you're doing your SPA, your sales purchase agreement, in there will be the discussion about who's going to pay what closing costs. It's common for the seller to pay their lawyer fees, so seller and buyer to pay their own lawyer fees. Buyer has to pay any transfer tax, that kind of thing. Seller has to pay, it's law in Costa Rica, seller has to pay sales tax on the commissions. They're paying the realtor. They have to pay it. There's no way out of that. So understand that when you're going in and you're doing negotiations for buying, whether you're a buyer or a seller, understand that those things are there. And then there's other closing costs, of course, that the lawyer and your real estate agent will outline for you, and it will show up when you're doing your stuff. And the due diligence happens. Okay, so they check the corporation, they check the properties all titled properly, they do a survey to make sure your property is where it's supposed to be, and the titled land is titled land, and that sort of thing. They're allowed a little discrepancy because Costa Rica, nothing's ever perfect, and that's just life. So then once all that stuff's answered, that takes about a month, usually 3 weeks to a month, to get all those things done. Then the closing happens and the money's transferred, and voila, you now own a new chunk of paradise in Costa Rica. It's a process just like any buying and selling of property is. It doesn't have to be daunting as long as you have really good people supporting you and making sure that the office, the real estate agency that you're choosing, has had good experience doing those kinds of things, and your agent has done a bunch of them and knows it, lives here, has lived here a while. Because you get somebody who's only been here a couple of years and they're selling property, they don't know, haven't had the experience, Find somebody who's been here a while and's got some experience. And, a lawyer attached to that office is the best, because then they talk back and forth and they can make things happen, and at the end of the day, it's frequently cheaper for you by having the lawyer in the offices talk, okay? So those are the best tips that I can give you about buying your piece of paradise, all right? You have a great day. This is Rita from Gringo to Tico.